EGM Network.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Well, hi there and welcome. I've got to say, I was very, very, very upset this last week when BBC, which is a station, British broadcasting company that I watched several times, not just for stocks, but for information also. And what happened, and it played a big role in the January 6th problem with Mr. Trump, President Trump. It was absolutely horrible. They apologized, but they need to do more than apologize in my books. First of all news sources should be recording what different people say accurately and include the exact thing that they did way back in the 24 campaign. They completely re-edited everything that Kamala Harris said because it was so embarrassing and inserted other things. And that all came out in the open and was wrong. Well, BBC took the speech that President Trump said when he was in the Grand Mall of Washington, D.C., and told people, and I listened to it live, so I remembered it, to go peacefully as a group to the Capitol building and just stay outside in peace. The emphasis was peacefully. Well, BBC completely erased that and instead took other things, like during his first campaign, one of his rallies, where he picked up his fist and said, "We're going to fight, fight, fight." And they took out that and inserted it into his speech on January 6th, made it totally fraudulent. Now, there are two different kinds of fraudulence in my book. That one where you actually edited and inserted something else that is consciously done on purpose. Well, the two people who did that for BBC were asked to resign or basically be fired, and that took place, and then they gave Trump an apology. But that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Also, other things that that to me is fraudulent, when good things, and this applies to everybody, when good things happen as well as bad, especially in politics, they should be reporting the both sides of this. Well, they don't. For somebody who listens to one news station all the time, you do not hear all the news because it doesn't matter which one of them. They eliminate a lot of negatives and they eliminate positives if they hate the person, such as the Trump derangement syndrome. That's another thing. Elimination of his accomplishments. Like the other news organizations didn't spend any time at all of Trump solving 8 other wars internationally. especially the Indian-Pakistan war. It was dead silence. That is wrong. When there is news, good or bad, it should be accurately reported. Probably the last real, honest, well-known reporters, boy, Edward R. Murrow, that goes way back. I was a toddler when he was speaking, all the way up to Tim Russert, who passed away at an early age, really told things the way they were. It made no difference whether it was politically Democrat or Republican. What was right, and what was wrong was wrong. We don't have that anymore. The other most recent thing that just happened now, Katie Couric, just this past week, interviewed Fetterman, Mr. Fetterman from Pennsylvania, the senator, and she tried desperately, even though he's a Democrat, she tried desperately to make him admit mistakes of Trump. And he did not give in to her. He was much smarter. But she did one question after another, and he did not succumb to any of the things that she was trying to get out of him. It was a horrible interview, very one-sided. There's nothing newsworthy about it when you're that prejudiced or biased. And we have a serious problem here. We really, really do. People want to know the truth. Even in the LP USA, Turning Point, or TPUSA, the Turning Point, the biggest way to get along with people, number one, is, besides listening to what they have to say, whether it's the same or a different viewpoint, let them speak. But you've got to come out with the truth. And how often growing up do we say the truth makes you free? Well, it does. And news means that people are supposed to be telling the truth, not purposely altering or editing, to use their word, editing speeches to say very different things.
Right.
That's not truthful in the least.
Right. They call that yellow journalism.
Yeah, yellow journalism may be the correct word,
Right.
but it has got to totally stop.
Yeah. A lot of it, to me, in my opinion, is they're doing it to sell the news.
Yeah, well, that's equally bad.
Right.
And for BBC to not even apologize and not say a word or offer a penny, that means it's going to happen again and again and again at the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is wrong.
It is.
The punishment ought to be enough to end this nonsense.
Well, the credibility goes out the window when you do that. So now what do we believe that BBC says ongoing? I don't know what to believe.
I don't know what to believe either.
I don't.
And when I knew how prejudiced NBC, CBS, ABC was,
Fox,
and Fox is
PBS is another one. You can't rely on. You're going to watch the news, and everyone says this that I know, of what agenda you want to believe in.
That's right.
That's all it is. It's not really news anymore. It's what agenda you want to liken yourself to.
Yes, and what you want to be indoctrinated with.
That's it. Not news.
And the word news ought to be erased because that's what it's come to.
Yep.
That's exactly what it's come to. I realize the Democratic Party right now has a lot of internal problems, but let me tell you, we still need a two-party system that get along with one another, not calling names, trying to make one good and the other bad.
Right.
That's not what it's all about. I have one regret in my whole life, other than very, very small incidental things. I have one major regret, and that is that I don't have $3 billion, because what I would do is I would start the All-American Democratic Party and leave the far left totally separated to themselves, because we need two parties. We don't need communism and socialism. It hasn't worked once if you read every single history book. The longest government we've had right now is the United States. Even the the Roman Empire didn't last 250 years. It fell apart when they became too socialistic. Free wine, free food, and you don't need to, if you don't have a job, you're welcome to go to the bullfights. And then what happened to the Roman Empire? The people who were salaried and worked and didn't get really anything more than the other people with the freebies, they all stopped taking care of the border and taking care of ruling the towns, keeping troubles down. They totally gave up. If everyone's not working and has free food and free board and doesn't have to pay, hell, we won't either. And the empire fell apart within 50 years or less. Look at Cuba, which is socialistic. Free health care, that's for the masses. That sounds nice, but the type of health care they get, only certain hospitals they can go to that are roach infested, that have doctors in training, not established surgeons. You get what you pay for, nothing. And the food they have, their meat, yeah, they slaughter cows and stuff, but it is nothing like the quality that we have. And you get what you pay for. The meat is tough. The nutritional value is questionable. The amount of antibiotics they use is not regulated. It's probably out of control with all the meat they eat. You get what you pay for, and when you get nothing, you really go downhill. You have nothing.
Yeah. And the news needs to report all of that stuff, too, so we know what the truth is, Martha.
Yeah, that's...
getting back on topic.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Democratic Party we do in the United States need two parties. You need both of them working different ideas, different ideals.
And compromise.
Right.
And get things done together. And we are not having that at all now.
Right now. We've gone through that at other points in history of the country, too.
But we've got to come back to it.
We do. We have to come back to it. And the news needs to be held accountable and to have credibility. Otherwise, why does it exist? It's just...
It's
nothing,
not news.
It isn't news. It's just another form of social media, whatever you want to call it, just agenda media.
Now, local news, for the most part, there are exceptions, of course, but local news, just reporting the events, the shootings, and look out for the people if they're not caught, and pictures of them and things like that. That is news. It's information that's good locally. And that's the closest thing we have to news. This national and international news, the amount of good things happening that they forget to report, the amount of negatives happening that they overemphasize.
Mm-hmm.
It is horrible. Every single one of them is horrible.
You know, if you go back to maybe 100 years or so ago in the newspapers and stuff, it's amazing the things that were reported. You know, look at it sometime if you're interested in it, that were reported, just everyday things, marriages. And I get, you know, some of it's the name recognition now and all of that. You can't do it. But that was part of every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the weddings, the birth announcements, the christenings, different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That is what's happening every day in people's lives.
Yes. Well, evidently, some of that they consider boring, especially if it's not their local area.
Right.
So I can understand that going to local news, not national news, unless it's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I really, really think, how can we get at this? The name calling has got to stop. The making one party good and the other no good is ridiculous. And we can start right there and start thinking of ways we can change this.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take a break at the moment, but even while we're on break, I want all of you listening to think of ways we can change, and email your congressmen, your newsmen, to say what you want, that this biasness has got to stop. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. I have some more information for you.
Evergreen Media is your go-to for podcasting. Business owners, boost your brand by educating clients with your own show. Just show up. We handle everything else. Get your custom video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and more. Start today at egreenmedia.com.
Create your restful retreat and save 50% now on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington furniture during the Home for the Holidays event at Sunshine Furniture. Sophisticated looks with a mix of coastal and Caribbean styles, Tommy Bahama offers everything you need for your personal paradise and is all half price. At Sunshine Furniture, we have the largest selection of in-stock coastal and casual sofas, love seats, chairs, slipcover sofas, bedroom dining, and occasional furniture from Four Seasons, Capri, Best Chair, Hooker, and Riverside. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have any style of patio furniture that you need, including a gallery of Made in America, Berlin Garden, Pollywood, Woodard, Lloyd Flanders, and Telescope. We specialize in replacement cushions, umbrellas, and fire pits. Come in now for our Home for the Holidays event and winter sale. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales center directly across the street, Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
At Evergreen Media, we know the people, the businesses, and the work needed to take your marketing to the next level. We know where locals go to shop, work, and have fun.
We're here to focus on your local advertising so you can focus on your business. This is our home. This is our business. Evergreen Media. We market, you grow.
Well, welcome back. Hey, we have not too much time, but I cannot emphasize enough. In the history of our country, and I looked up some times, especially the late 1800s, we had the same problem that we do now. There was biasness, and the biggest single thing is our First Amendment, free speech. Socialism, communism, the first thing they eliminate is free speech. And how do they eliminate it? By things that are happening. People who don't agree with certain things a various individual will say, assassinate them. And so everyone can only have one frame of mind,
Right.
not two parties, not two opinions, not openness to suggest improvements or ideas. All of that is completely rubbed out. How come? Let's be a little more honest on why socialism and communism doesn't work. Have you thought of anything that Russia has invented? All the appliances were invented in the United States because they had freedom to try different things, say different things. All our air conditioning systems, all our updates in electricity. The most that communism can do is buy from us and pay for some of our technology to come over there. And to this day, Russia does not have an electric grid that is 21st century. That's why the common people are not allowed to have clothes dryers. Every last one of them puts their clothes on a clothesline, even in dead winter. And we're talking about what they call middle-class people. Now, some of the middle-class people over there, they don't even have decent health insurance, but they call themselves middle class. I'm telling you, socialism's middle class and working class is poorer than our people on welfare. They're not, the news isn't telling you that, but that is one thing that is true. And please, let's not go ahead with this. It's okay to kill people. It's okay if some bandits shoot and feel like it, or rob your house, or rape kids. You don't turn the other way like the Democratic Party seems to be doing. You take care of your citizens. That's number one. And they put you in charge. Please, people, don't make mistakes. And they did some stupid things. Even that Mandavi right now, when he was giving a lecture, he was putting Trump down. We will take care of him. What he does is wrong. And guess what happened 2 days ago? He called up Trump, wants to go to Washington, sit down and talk to him. What is there to talk about if you're going to badmouth him that way? He's probably suddenly realized he needs federal funding for all this free stuff that he's talking about, and he realized he may be drilling a hole for him to be buried in. Let's hope not.
The big thing, too, is for the news to report all of the stuff accurately and unbiasedly. So we know what the story is. I mean, we can sit here and say the stuff about this guy, that guy, this lady, that lady, but a lot of the times we're getting the news from the news. So do we know what's really true, too?
That's true.
You know, do we know what slant are they giving us? That they're feeding
we don't
us?
know what is truth anymore when I listen to some of these interviews. Yeah. So have a good week, folks, and we'll see you next time.